In the midst of a dazzling gala, where laughter and luxury intertwined, a billionaire casually tossed out a challenge intending only to entertain the elite crowd. But then, unexpectedly, a young janitor emerged from the shadows, stepping forward, with a determination that suggested everything was on the line for him. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the string lights above the Crystal Bay Hotel ballroom began to twinkle, their soft glow dancing across the polished marble floors. Each flicker created a golden reflection, enhancing the elegance of the evening, and wrapping the guests in a sense of grandeur that was palpable in the air. In a grand hall, where elegance reigned supreme, guests adorned in sleek gowns and tailored suits glided gracefully between tables draped in pristine white linens. In a room filled with the gentle murmur of voices, the soft sound of glasses meeting each other created a symphony of social interaction. Two delicate glasses sparkled in the soft light, their crystal surfaces catching the glimmer of the evening. Each glass was filled with a golden effervescence, bubbles dancing playfully to the surface. The air was filled with anticipation, as laughter and chatter surrounded the moment, a celebration waiting to unfold. With a gentle clink, the glasses met, a toast to memories yet to be made, and the promise of joy that lingered in the air. In the dim light of the room, a baby grand piano, its surface marked with the gentle scars of time, rested against the far wall. It seemed to whisper secrets of melodies long forgotten, standing in stark contrast to the lavish surroundings that enveloped it. Sabrina Lokage, at the age of 41, found herself at the heart of a gathering, surrounded by eager donors and inquisitive reporters. Clad in a fitted emerald dress, she exuded an aura that was impossible to ignore. With her hair cascading in gentle waves, she flashed a smile that seemed crafted just for the lenses capturing her every move. With a flair for the dramatic and a knack for transforming the tiniest of moments into sensational stories, she thrived in her surroundings. She tapped her perfectly manicured fingers on the piano lid asas. She gazed upon the throng surrounding her. A wave of emotions washed over her. "You know," she began, her voice soft, yet clear, drifting through the air to reach the ears of those gathered around. "If anyone here can play this piano flawlessly, I'll marry them tomorrow," she declared, with a playful glint in her eye. The room buzzed with laughter and disbelief, for such a bold statement was hardly the sort of thing one expected at a black-tie fundraiser. Yet, amidst the clinking of glasses and the soft murmur of conversation, her words hung in the air, inviting a challenge that few dared to accept. In that moment, joy filled the air, a sound that was easy and warm, wrapping around everyone like a cozy blanket. Amused glances were exchanged among the guests, a silent communication that seemed to echo the sentiment, "Classic Sabrina." A handful of reporters leaned in slightly, their minds racing as they captured the remark, visioning it as a potential quote for their stories. In the dim light of the room, K. Clell, Brantley stood at the edge, diligently pouring fresh ice water into the waiting pitchers. At the age of 27, he found himself as the youngest janitor among the hotel staff. Having embarked on this journey just 8 months prior, with a relaxed demeanor, he glided from one table to the next, his movements so subtle they seemed to blend into the background. As her words reached his ears, he halted in his tracks, caught in a moment of stillness. With a gentle thud, he placed the pitcher on the table, then made his way to the piano. As he approached, he leaned in slightly, his voice rising just enough for those gathered around to catch his words. "Do you mean that?" The question sliced through the jovial atmosphere, drawing curious glances from every corner of the room. Sabrina cast her eyes around. She looked at him, her surprise not stemming from the question itself, but from the unexpected source of it. She recognized his face, familiar in the way one recognizes those who linger in the shadows, always present yet seldom acknowledged. It lingered in the air, a sense of recognition that danced just out of reach like a whisper of a memory waiting to be uncovered. Though its name eluded her, the essence felt oddly comforting, as if it belonged to a story half remembered, a chapter yet to be written. With a playful tilt of her head and a smirk dancing on her lips, she responded, "I suppose I do. What makes you want to audition?" Laughter danced among the group, creating a lighthearted atmosphere. In the dimly lit room, a voice floated through the air, barely above a whisper, "Oh, this will be interesting." A soft chuckle followed, hinting at the amusement of another donor, and seemed to anticipate a fleeting show, one that would soon fade into memory. Khalil remained expressionless, his lips not curving into a smile in response. He took a step forward, closing the distance between them. As she moved her fingers gently along the time-worn edge of the piano, a sense of nostalgia washed over her, each touch evoking memories of melodies long past. "If you're truly committed," he remarked with a steady gaze, "then let's see how serious you really are." A subtle change hung in the air, a shift that didn't quite hush the laughter, but drew everyone a little closer, their curiosity piqued. With a swift motion, a reporter lifted their phone, ready to capture the unfolding moment. As the tension in the room began to rise, one of the hotel managers stepped forward, drawn by the need to diffuse any potential discomfort that might arise. Sabrina, basking in the unexpected spotlight, waved her hand toward the bench. "Of course," she replied. "Reveal to us what lies ahead." "You've got..." Khalil set his work caddy aside and eased himself onto the bench. The weight of the day momentarily lifted as he settled into the familiar spot. Amidst the gleaming black wood, a uniform and navy shirt, adorned with the hotel logo stitched neatly above the chest pocket, seemed to stand out, most as if it were a solitary figure in a sea of elegance. With a deep breath, he positioned his fingers over the keys, allowing a moment of stillness to envelop him. In the midst of the gathering, a handful of individuals cast doubtful glances at one another, their expressions revealing a shared uncertainty. In a dimly lit room, one man leaned back, his voice barely above a whisper as he said, "This is going to be over quick." His companion, eyes narrowed in anticipation, leaned in closer and replied, "I'll give him 30 seconds. Yet amidst their murmurs, Khalil remained unfazed, his presence commanding the moment. He may have seen it. Indifference cloaked his heart. His gaze lingered on the keys as if they held secrets waiting to be uncovered. As his fingers danced across the keys, the initial sounds emerged with a gentle slowness, each note carefully chosen, as if he were coaxing the piano to reveal its secrets. Though the tone lacked perfection, he instinctively made adjustments, his touch both careful and assured. In a matter of moments, the melody started to transform. With a swift motion, his fingers danced across the surface, quickening their pace. Every note flowed seamlessly into the next, a rhythm that seemed at odds with the title he held and the uniform he wore. Words hung in the air, abruptly cut off, as if the very breath of the moment had been stolen away. As the echoes of joy dwindled into silence, a stillness enveloped the air. Even those who had once been they gazed at their phones. Their hands slowly descended, almost as if drawn by an unseen force, unaware of the change happening around them. What began as a gathering filled with courteous laughter was gradually transforming into something altogether different. It was an unexpected turn of events, one that no one could have foreseen as the evening unfolded. Yet it was only when the whispers began to circulate that the tension finally shattered, and they had lost the ability to bring joy with them. In the stillness of the room, a soft hum began to rise, whispers weaving through the air like a gentle breeze, gathering at the edges of the semicircle that cradled the piano. A woman adorned in a shimmering pearl necklace leaned closer to her husband, her voice barely above a whisper as she said, she was aware that he only knew a single song. Her husband offered a faint grin, his gaze fixed intently on Khalil's hands as though he were anticipating a misstep in the melody. At the buffet table, two young men dressed in tailored suits shared knowing smirks, their eyes glinting with mischief. Amidst the clinking of glasses and the soft murmur of conversation, one figure, cradling a half-empty glass of champagne, leaned in and whispered with a hint of mischief, "I wager he'll play something as simple as chopsticks and then wrap it up for the night." With a shared glance, laughter bubbled up between them, unrestrained and genuine. Khalil's face remained unchanged, a stillness that spoke volumes. He focused intently on the keys, his shoulders at ease. The gentle rhythm of his upper body swayed gently, moving to a melody only he could hear, as if he were lost in a realm of his own creation. As the notes filled the air, they enveloped the room with a richness that was both warm and inviting. It was a tapestry of sound, weaving together layers of complexity that caught everyone by surprise, leaving them in awe of its depth. As time passed, the comments lingered in the air, their confidence beginning to wane. Where did he learn that? A middle-aged man inquired, a hint of concern etching his brow. Perhaps it was YouTube, a voice chimed in, accompanied by a soft chuckle.
Out.
Yet it seemed to falter in its resolve. Sabrina, with her back pressed against the piano, fought to keep a playful smirk on her lips. Her words were intended as a light-hearted jest, a flicker to ignite a dialogue. It wasn't perceived as a true challenge. Yet as each moment unfolded, she discovered herself observing Khalil. With increasing intensity, stood tall, exuding confidence, his fingers gliding with precision. Each moment was measured, a deliberate pause allowing the atmosphere to swell with anticipation before he plunged into the next movement. Not bad, she remarked with a nonchalant air, her voice carrying just enough for those around her to catch the words. Yet the challenge remained. Could you sustain that for longer than just a fleeting minute? Khalil remained silent, his lips pressed together, offering no words in reply. In that moment, his left hand embraced a rich, echoing sequence of chords, while his right hand twirled gracefully through the air. As the melody danced over the higher keys, it carried a lightness, a playful, teasing precision that captivated all who listened. The melody unfolded like a tapestry, each note intertwining with the next, creating a dance of sound that appeared effortless, yet revealed the mastery behind its creation. The young man, a glass of champagne in hand, lifted his eyebrows in surprise. Perhaps chopsticks aren't the best choice after all. Across the expanse of the room, a hotel chef clad in a crisp white jacket emerged from the shadows of the service door. With his back pressed against the frame, he crossed his arms and locked his gaze onto Khalil, a silent tension hanging in the air between them. Two waiters, their trays still in hand, paused in their stride, captivated by the unfolding scene. Before them was not solely the affluent, the guests, captivated by the allure of the moment, found themselves drawn in, fully immersed in the unfolding scene. It was not just the guests who had observed the change. The staff had taken note. As well, a woman adorned in a shimmering navy dress pivoted gracefully to face Sabrina. He possesses a remarkable talent. It was truly remarkable. Sabrina gave a gentle wave of her hand, striving to maintain an air of indifference. Talent can come from anywhere, she remarked, yet the sharpness in her tone revealed her surprise at the unexpected turn of events. Khalil, in that moment, found himself immersed in a realm where a gentle, sorrowful tune intertwined with unexpected bursts of fervor. In that moment, the music flowed like a gentle river, wrapping around you, stirring emotions deep within. Even if you couldn't quite grasp what they were, it was a melody that lingered in the air, weaving through the moments of life like a gentle breeze. Each note carried a story, echoing the emotions of those who listened. The rhythm pulsed with the heartbeat of memories, inviting all to join in the dance of nostalgia and dreams. In that moment, the world faded away, leaving only the enchanting sound that wrapped around the soul, a timeless companion on the journey of existence. The notes swirled around the space, weaving through the air like a gentle breeze, enveloping everything in their melodic embrace. They pushed against it, distorting the very air around them until it became an undeniable presence. From the periphery of the gathering, a figure clad in a dark gray suit whispered, "Betty still can't read." Sheet music. Though the words were spoken softly, they reached Khalil's ears, cutting through the noise of the crowd. He remained focused, his gaze fixed ahead, as his right hand ascended the keys with purpose. It struck a bright, resonant note that echoed through the air before seamlessly returning to the flow of the melody. A woman sat in the front row, her arms crossed and her head tilted slightly to one side. "Where did you learn to play like that?" she inquired, her curiosity piqued. At last, Khalil found his voice, steady and unwavering. "Not here," came the reply, eliciting a few light-hearted chuckles that felt more like camaraderie than mockery. It was the sort of response that stirred curiosity, an unspoken anticipation for a tale yet to unfold, a tale that ignited a desire to listen closely. Sabrina tapped the lid once more, her previous air of confidence replaced by a hint of uncertainty. "All right, surprise us," she declared, a hint of defiance in her voice. As if she were attempting to reclaim authority over a scenario she had initiated, but now felt slipping away. It was a journey that seemed to stretch on endlessly, each moment feeling more purposeful than the last. Halil's fingers danced across the keys, a flurry of motion that felt as if he were in a spirited duel with the very instrument before him. With each careful press of the sustain pedal, his foot danced gracefully, allowing the harmonies to linger in the air like whispers of a forgotten melody. Then, with a gentle shift, he transformed them into something entirely new, weaving a tapestry of sound that captivated all who listened. The whispers gradually dwindled into silence. All traces of the smirks had vanished. The man in the dark gray suit, once relaxed, now stood tall and silent, his demeanor shifting as the atmosphere thickened around him. Sabrina stood with her, arms crossed, her gaze fixed on him, as though she were assessing him against an unseen standard. Yet the true turning point arrived when the initial figure among the throng. She ceased to view him as a mere curiosity and began to see him through the eyes of an artist, appreciating the depth and nuance he possessed. Cleo's fingers danced across the keys as if they were destined to be there, each motion purposeful yet smooth, reminiscent of a gentle stream winding its path through the landscape. He had ceased to perform for the audience gathered around him. His eyes were locked onto the piano, yet his thoughts wandered to a distant realm, a place that existed solely in his imagination. As the music transformed, it slipped into a languid, minor key, wrapping the atmosphere in a tight embrace. In the dimly lit hall, the air vibrated as the lower registers rumbled with a profound depth, creating a resonant atmosphere that enveloped all who were present. Upper notes drifted through the air, reminiscent of pieces from a distant recollection. It was more than mere talent. Once upon a time, there was a tale waiting to be told. Each chord resonated as if it were a carefully crafted sentence, weaving a tale of emotion and depth. Each run unfolded like a carefully crafted paragraph, leading toward a destination that remained elusive to both him and the audience until the moment of revelation finally arrived. The guests, who had once been standing in a relaxed manner, began to lean forward, their curiosity piqued. In a room filled with whispers and anticipation, a woman adorned in a striking crimson dress stood poised, her hands delicately clasped. Before her, the brilliance of her diamond bracelet sparkled, reflecting the soft glow of the light as she absorbed every word around her. In the dimly lit back of the room, the waitstaff paused in their tasks, trays momentarily forgotten, as they stood still, caught in a moment of shared attention. Yet the gaze remained steadfast upon the piano. In an instant, Khalil turned on his heel. With a sudden burst of energy, his right hand danced across the keys, producing a flurry of notes that rang out with clarity and precision. In perfect harmony, his left hand responded, weaving in deep, resonant bass lines that echoed like distant thunder, creating a powerful symphony of sound. The difference crackled in the air, a vibrant energy that could be felt all around. In a world where light danced playfully with shadows, a gentle touch met the unwavering force of strength. Sabrina's breath hitched in her throat, a secret she would never confess. Throughout her life, she had navigated the realms of wealth, authority, and sway, yet encounters that struck her so deeply, so purely, were few and far between. As she entered, a palpable change enveloped the space, and either heart raced with excitement. Amidst the throng of people, a voice emerged from the shadows, softly declaring, "That's Rachmaninoff." A second voice countered, "No, pay attention. He's weaving in something uniquely his own." For a fleeting moment, Khalil shut his eyes, his fingers dancing across the keys with increasing speed, the melody contorting and reshaping itself as if daring to push beyond its boundaries. As the notes floated through the air, the audience found themselves in a curious dilemma, caught between the familiar echoes of a classical masterpiece and the tantalizing allure of something entirely uncharted. They felt an irresistible force, drawing them closer, a mysterious presence that beckoned them forward. As he journeyed onward, his left hand struck a sequence of chords, their resonance filling the air with such intensity that the very walls of the room began to tremble. As the sustained pedal engaged, a wave of resonance filled the room, creating a fleeting illusion that the music transcended the confines of the air around it. Deep within the very floor beneath their feet, something stirred, a presence waiting to be discovered. Sabrina adjusted her position, intertwining her ankles, and leaned closer to the woman beside her, murmuring, "I didn't think he'd be this good." The woman responded with a silent nod, her gaze unwavering, fixed intently on Khalil. He shifted once more, easing into a tender melody that felt like a soothing lullaby. Once upon a time, in a world filled with possibilities, there existed a moment that marked the beginning of a remarkable journey. It was a moment steeped in closeness, delicate and tender, as if it were a sound drifting softly through a door in the stillness of the night. The silence that lingered between the notes held a significance that rivaled the melodies, each pause a vital part of the symphony unfolding in the air. That moment a hush fell over the crowd, an unspoken tension weaving through the air. Each person stood still, their breaths caught in their throats, as if the slightest noise could shatter the fragile magic of the scene unfolding before them. With a gentle rise of his hands, Khalil breathed life into the piece once more. Melody ascended, reaching for the heavens. While the chords beneath it pulsed with an increasing intensity, a sense of urgency building with each note. He dashed forward, driven by an unseen force, chasing after a vision that existed solely in his mind's eye. Once upon a time, in a place where stories began, there existed a realm filled with endless possibilities. In the front row, a man in his 60s gently lowered his phone, his gaze drifting away from the screen. He had captured every moment since Khalil started, yet now, for the first time, he yearned to simply listen, free from the barrier of a screen that separated them. As the curtain drew near its close, Khalil delivered a performance that left the audience in awe. A breathtaking culmination of his journey. With the right hand dancing through rapid arpeggios, the left hand struck a counter-rhythm, echoing the very heartbeat of the composition. His shoulders swayed gracefully with the rhythm, maintaining a sense of control and poise. He held every part of himself in a firm grip, mastering the moment with unwavering precision. As the final note lingered in the air, it didn't merely fade away. It hung in the atmosphere, a presence that refused to dissipate. In a fleeting instant, time seemed to pause. The piano's natural resonance lingered in the air, a haunting echo that seemed to stretch time itself before it finally let go, fading into silence. Khalil's fingers hovered above the keys, his head inclined just enough to suggest a reverence for the silence that enveloped the room, allowing the moment to linger before words could break its stillness. This time, the silence hung heavy and the air devoid of the customary polite applause. In that moment, the room came alive, a symphony of cheers, whistles, and clapping that resonated far beyond the usual toasts of the evening. There were guests who lingered, caught in a moment of stillness, their minds momentarily blank. As he stood there, a hush fell over the crowd, their eyes fixed on him, uncertainty etched on their faces, as if they were grappling with the reality of what had just unfolded before them. Sabrina joined in the rhythm, her hands coming together in a cheerful cadence. But her thoughts whirled in a chaotic dance, each one colliding with the next, creating a tempest of confusion and uncertainty. With a playful glint in her eye, she threw down a challenge, fully anticipating a chuckle and a swift conclusion to the moment. In that moment, she found herself captivated as a janitor stepped into the room, effortlessly commanding the attention of a gathering filled with millionaires, leaving them in a state of astonishment. As she took a step closer, her voice became a gentle whisper. "That wasn't what I expected," she remarked, her gaze wandering over his features, searching for an elusive answer that danced just beyond her reach. Khalil finally turned his gaze toward her, a serene expression gracing his features. "Most things worth remembering aren't," he said, a hint of wistfulness in his voice. A soft whisper of agreement floated through the air. Amidst the throng of people, she navigated her way forward. Softly spoken, yet filled with sincerity. Yet, the true dialogue was merely starting, and it was destined to escape the confines of this grand ballroom before long. The applause lingered in the air, but soon it was overshadowed by a symphony of conversations that erupted in every corner of the room. In a dimly lit room, Individuals huddled together, their voices barely above a whisper, yet filled with excitement, as if they had just experienced an event that left them both exhilarated and bewildered. Sabrina lingered by the piano, her gaze fixed on Khalil as she attempted to decipher the thoughts hidden behind his eyes. In the quiet moments of her life, she reflected on the journey she had taken, a path meticulously crafted through dedication and hard work. Each step she had taken was a building block, forming a career that stood as a testament to her perseverance and ambition. In the bustling world of public life, there emerged a figure who skillfully navigated the complexities of perception. With every word spoken and every gesture made, this individual crafted a story that resonated with the masses. The art of shaping the tale became their forte as they deftly guided the discourse, ensuring that the narrative flowed in a direction that suited their vision. Each interaction was a carefully orchestrated performance, leaving the audience captivated and eager for more. As the lines between reality and crafted image began, yet now she sensed the tale eluding her grasp, flowing seamlessly into his possession. In the soft glow of the room, a woman in her 50s, draped in a shimmering silver wrap that cascaded elegantly over her gown, made her way toward the piano. With a warm smile, she addressed him. "Young man, where did you learn to play like that?" Khalil asked, his hands resting thoughtfully in his lap. In the comfort of his own abode, he stated with a quiet certainty, "Once, my mother stumbled upon an old upright piano, a hidden gem she acquired for just $50 from a nearby church. Its keys bore the marks of time, some chipped and a few refusing to sing, yet it held a charm that was more than enough to inspire melodies in our home." As she spoke those words, the woman's smile transformed, becoming gentler and more understanding. In the end, it all came together as planned. From the shadows, a figure clad in a tuxedo stepped forward, his voice a blend of intrigue and indifference. With no formal training or conservatory to guide him, Khalil had simply found his own way. He shot a quick glance at him, a hint of pride in his eyes. "The journey lies in the discovery," he remarked. A soft chuckle echoed from the back of the room, and a hint of a smile appeared on Sabrina's face as she caught the moment. Then arrived the hotel's general manager, a distinguished older gentleman with salt and pepper hair, who gently placed a hand on the weight of the world rested upon Khalil's shoulder. "How long have you been working here?" "8 months, Khalil answered, a hint of pride in his voice. "So, you've kept this a secret all along?" "I wasn't keeping anything from you," Khalil replied, his tone unwavering. "No one ever asked." The weight of that response hung in the air, more profound than anyone could have anticipated. A hush fell over the room, and a palpable tension filled the air. Faces turned slightly, eyes darting away, as if an unspoken truth had just been unearthed, stirring a collective unease among the group. Sabrina tilted her head, a curious glint in her eyes as she pondered the world around her. "It seems that, in this moment, you've led me to cross a boundary I once held dear." "What rule, you ask?" Alu inquired. "In the grand tapestry of my event, I vowed to ensure that the spotlight remained firmly on me, never allowing another to steal the thunder of my carefully orchestrated celebration." Amidst the gathering, a wave of laughter erupted, but this time, it carried a warmth, a sense of camaraderie that filled the air. The playful smirks and hushed laughter had faded away, giving way to an atmosphere thick with a newfound respect, or perhaps a hint of curiosity lingering in the air. A reporter from the Charlotte Observer emerged from the crowd, her phone extended. In anticipation, once upon a time, a curious soul named Khalil was approached with a simple request. "Could you share a brief moment with us?" They asked. "Just a quick video of you saying your name and where you hail from?" A wave of curiosity is about to sweep through the crowd. Khalil stood at the crossroads, uncertainty swirling within him like a tempest. He paused, contemplating the path ahead, his heart racing with the weight of his decision. It would be best if the video told its own story. The reporter's expression shifted, revealing a hint of surprise, yet with a subtle nod. He took a step back, creating a moment of pause in the unfolding scene. From the shadows of the gathering, a voice rang out, urging play, another one. call was taken up by many, creating a chorus of anticipation, and for a fleeting moment, it felt as though he might just oblige. Yet, Khalil softly shook his head. "One was enough," Sabrina remarked, her gaze lingering on him for a moment longer. "Then I suppose you'll be leaving everyone here wondering." He rose from the bench, and as if guided by an unseen force, the crowd instinctively parted to allow him passage. A handful of guests approached him, extending their hands in greeting. Amidst the gathering, a chorus of voices rose, each one weaving a tapestry of praise. Some words flowed with genuine warmth, while others danced with a hint of artifice, creating a mosaic of admiration that filled the air. Though the atmosphere was charged with a sense of showmanship, Khalil received each gesture with a steady, composed nod, as if he were the eye of the storm amidst the swirling chaos around him. Sabrina's eyes followed him as he made his way across the grand ballroom, his figure moving purposefully toward the shadowy service hallway that beckoned him. In a world where she effortlessly commanded attention, it was a rare sight to witness another step into that space of authority with such ease, as if it were a natural extension of their being. In that moment, she found herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions, unsure whether to feel annoyance or admiration. As Khalil stood by the doorway, a young waiter hurried to his side. "It was a surprise to me, really. I had no idea you were into that." It was a moment that defied belief, a whirlwind of chaos and excitement that left everyone breathless. Khalil's lips curled into a subtle smile, a flicker of warmth in his expression. "It was a habit that had woven itself into the fabric of my life, a thread that had been there for as long as I could remember." There was a sound that resembled eighth culmination of a lifetime's effort. Khalil paused, the silence stretching between them like a taut string, before finally responding. With a swift motion, he tightened the strap on his cleaning caddy, a thoughtful expression crossing his face as he murmured, "Maybe it is." In that moment, he stepped into the hallway, the weighty door closing with a definitive thud behind him. Returning to the piano, Sabrina placed her hand gently on the lid, a moment of stillness enveloping her. The air in the room was alive with energy. Amidst the lively chatter of guests, conversations swirled around the remarkable performance that had just unfolded. Whispers filled the air, and inevitably, the focus turned to the unexpected star of the evening, the hotel janitor, who had effortlessly captured the spotlight and stolen the night. As she left the gathering, a sense of inevitability washed over her. The clip, she realized, would be making its way onto the internet long before she even stepped through her front door. A man beside her drew closer, his presence palpable in the air between them. "It dawns on you that this is gaining immense popularity, doesn't it?" "I'd be surprised if it isn't already," she replied, a hint of curiosity dancing in her voice. Yet, unbeknownst to them, the dialogue beyond these confines was destined to swell into a cacophony far surpassing any whispers exchanged within. As Sabrina's driver navigated through the bustling city streets, the anticipation built within her. The moment they arrived at her high-rise apartment, her phone began to vibrate incessantly, a flurry of notifications demanding her attention. The screen was alive with a flurry of messages. Colleagues reaching out, social media alerts chiming in, and 2 missed calls from her publicist waiting to be acknowledged. In the beginning, there was a message that emerged, carrying with it the weight of anticipation and the promise of connection. "Is this your gala?" asked the piano guy, his fingers poised above the keys, ready to weave melodies into the air. A message arrived, accompanied by a link to a video that had already found its way onto Twitter. The clip, though raw and shaky, was unmistakably a product of a guest's phone, yet it managed to capture every moment with striking clarity. As Khalil took his seat, a wave of skeptical laughter rippled through the crowd, only to be replaced by an abrupt hush. Then, like a thunderclap, the applause erupted, filling the air with a palpable energy. Within a mere span of 3 hours, it had captivated the attention of over 300,000 viewers. As dawn broke, the numbers would soar into the millions. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a flurry of hashtags began to emerge on Instagram, each one weaving a tale of its own. In the quiet corners of the grand hall, where the echoes of music lingered, there worked a humble janitor named Khalil. Little did anyone know, beneath his unassuming exterior lay a hidden genius. a master of the piano, waiting for the right moment to reveal his extraordinary talent. In a quiet town, there lived a man named Brantley. His presence was felt in every corner, a name whispered among the townsfolk, each syllable carrying a story of its own. Brantley was more than just a name. It was a part of the fabric of the community, woven into the everyday lives of those around. Whispers of admiration filled the air as many hailed him as a prodigy. It's a shining example that true talent can emerge from the shadows, needing no grand stage to be discovered. Some were more perceptive, illuminating how the guests had first regarded him. In the bustling world of TikTok, a well-known creator had taken the initiative to weave together a clip, adding their own insightful commentary to it. In that fleeting instant, the wealthy elite's eyes widened, flicker of disbelief crossing their faces as they grasped the truth they had misjudged him all along. As the morning sun rose higher in the sky, the video began to capture the attention of countless viewers. A wave of comments flooded in, each one urging friends to experience the journey, with messages echoing sentiments of "you must see this." Until the end, it's truly worth it. By the time the clock struck 10 a.m., the excitement was palpable. The following day, Halil's name soared to the top of Twitter trends, capturing attention alongside the most significant international news stories. Amidst the vibrant atmosphere of the performance, a moment captured in time revealed Sabrina's astonished expression, spreading like wildfire among the audience. It was a moment frozen in time, a snapshot that spoke volumes. The words lingered. Above the image, a warning echoing through the air. When you challenge the wrong guy, consequences can be unexpected. In a modest apartment perched above a bustling laundromat on Beechwood Avenue, Khalil found himself immersed in the quiet of his surroundings. On the kitchen table, an old laptop sat quietly, its screen illuminated by a cascade of unread notifications. Waiting for someone to take notice? One day, a message popped up from an old high school friend. "Bro, you're everywhere," it read, sparking a wave of nostalgia and curiosity about the paths they had taken since those carefree days. In that moment, Khalil let out a deep sigh, his fingers running through the hair at the nape of his neck. "Really should consider starting a YouTube channel or something," he said, the weight of the suggestion hanging in the air. He had always walked a quiet path, never yearning for the spotlight. The idea of being thrust into the limelight was an unsettling notion, one that stirred a mix of curiosity and apprehension within him. From the very beginning, music was a deeply personal journey for him. A treasure he revealed only to a select few friends and occasionally showcased at an open mic night, where the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation and the thrill of sharing his passion. At that moment, it found itself under the scrutiny of unfamiliar eyes, examined and analyzed by people scattered across the globe. At the Crystal Bay Hotel, the general manager found himself surrounded by a flurry of media inquiries, each one vying for his attention. In the bustling heart of the community, local news stations eagerly sought out interviews, their cameras poised and ready to capture the stories that mattered most to the people. Across the nation, various outlets emerged, each with its own unique voice and perspective, in the stillness of the night. A sound pierced through the silence, beckoning with an urgency that could not be ignored. It was a call, echoing through the darkness, drawing one closer to its source. Each ring resonated with a sense of anticipation, a whisper of what awaited on the other end. The air was thick with expectation as the moment hung suspended, waiting to unfold its story. In the bustling city of Los Angeles, a morning talk show had extended its hand, eager to connect. As Sabrina sat in her cozy living room, cradling a warm cup of coffee, her phone rang. It was her publicist on the other end, ready to share the last-in news. "This is an opportunity," the woman declared with a sense of urgency in her voice. It was clear that action was necessary. The time had come to take the lead and navigate the path forward. Amidst the excitement, the clip captured the hearts of many, yet whispers of discontent emerged regarding the initial response of the room. "It is essential for you to share your thoughts. Demonstrate your unwavering encouragement. I am here." "For you," Sabrina replied. With a gentle nudge, I encouraged him to embrace the moment and let the game unfold. He moved forward, and I let him go without a word. "That's not how the internet works," her publicist remarked with a hint of exasperation. Once upon a time, there existed a group of individuals bound together by a shared journey. Their paths intertwined, leading them to experiences that would shape their destinies. Together, they faced challenges and celebrated victories, creating memories that would last a lifetime. It would be wise to set up a public meeting for you and Khalil. In a moment, frozen in time, a scene unfolded, capturing the essence of joy and camaraderie. The air was filled with anticipation as smiles blossomed and laughter echoed, creating a tapestry of memories that would last a lifetime. Each click of the camera was a heartbeat, a reminder of the connections forged in that fleeting instant. Perhaps there will be another performance to follow. Sabrina gazed out the window, her eyes tracing the contours of the skyline that stretched before her. He stands there, not merely a fixture in the background, but a presence with depth and purpose. Should he wish to meet, so be it. Should that be the case, I won't impose my will. As Khalil sat there, he found himself lost in the sea of comments. Beneath a viral post, his fingers gliding over the screen with curiosity. Amidst the crowd, kindness flowed like a gentle stream, yet shadows of cynicism lurked in the corners. Whispers filled the air, some suggesting it was merely a clever ruse, a performance staged to capture the gaze of the world. As the sun began to dip in the sky that afternoon, a journalist from the Charlotte Ledger reached out to him, their voice crackling through the phone line, ready to uncover a story waiting to be told. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Khalil. His journey was filled with dreams and aspirations, each step leading him closer to his destiny. Curiosity filled the air as people gathered around, eager to hear the answer to a burning question. Would you embark on the journey of pursuing music full-time from this moment forward? I haven't decided, he said. From a young age, the joy of playing has always filled my days, a passion that has never waned. It seems strange to let something so ephemeral dictate the course of my journey. In that moment, the reporter took a breath, allowing the weight of the story to settle in the air. What is it that you hope others will remember from this experience? You can't truly know someone just by their appearance, Khalil replied. Perhaps that gift exists beyond the confines of any prescribed attire. As the sun began to set, the clip made its way onto the screens of homes across the nation. In the dimly lit studio, the news anchor leaned forward, a glint of excitement in their eyes as they spoke. Tonight, we present to you a performance that... It was a moment that halted the festivities, leaving everyone in stunned silence. As the screen flickered to life, the vibrant scenes of Khalil's performance unfolded, accompanied by the insightful musings of music critics and the lively banter of social media personalities, each adding their unique flavor to the unfolding narrative. In the heart of the hotel, the air was thick with the echoes of the previous night's events. Guests, still buzzing with excitement, reached out to the staff, eager to recount the unforgettable moments they had experienced. Amidst the whispers and murmurs, a few claimed to have seen his talent shine through from the very first moment, yet the footage told a different tale altogether. Curiosity buzzed among the crowd as whispers floated through the air about whether he would grace the stage once more. Sabrina felt the weight of the tale, realizing it had spiraled into something far beyond her grasp. Her inbox overflowed with invitations, each one beckoning her to share her insights on panels that delved into the realms of hidden talent and class. She understood the weight of perception, yet deep down, she recognized that the power to shape the future lay solely in Khalil's hands. Yet the true transformation lay not in the count of views or the buzz of headlines. Curious murmurs spread among the crowd as they pondered the true identity of Khalil. Little did they know, that question was on the brink of taking them down a path neither had anticipated. 2 days after the gala, Khalil sat alone at a small table nestled in a quiet corner of Marlowe's coffee house. This little haven, tucked just off Main Street, had long since settled into a peaceful lull, the morning rush now a distant memory. Once upon a time, there was a man who possessed they had come to an understanding, a silent pact forged in secrecy. Sabrina would not be met in the glaring spotlight of cameras, nor within the confines of the hotel. Instead, this rendezvous would take place in a place of their choosing, away from prying eyes here. She had firmly expressed her desire for a quiet setting, emphasizing the importance of a conversation free from prying eyes. As she entered the room, the clock ticked away the seconds, marking her arrival 5 minutes past the hour. With a gentle rush, she settled into the chair across from him, her smile carrying a hint of apology that spoke volumes. "Traffic," she remarked, placing her leather tote gently on the floor. Khalil gave a slight nod, acknowledging the moment with a quiet understanding. "No problem." A silence fell between them, stretching out like a quiet pause in a conversation yet to unfold. As the espresso machine whirred to life, its rhythmic sound blended seamlessly with the gentle notes of soft jazz, creating an atmosphere that enveloped the room in warmth and comfort. As Sabrina leaned forward, she found a moment of stillness. Her posture, a gentle invitation to the world around her. With her elbows resting on the table, she leaned in closer, as if the world around her had faded away, leaving only the moment at hand. "I owe you an apology," she said plainly, her voice steady yet laced with remorse. "That night, I turned you into a joke without even thinking about it. And you transformed the entire situation into something I couldn't have anticipated." Khalil's gaze remained unwavering, locked onto hers. "I didn't do it to prove you wrong." "I know," she replied, the weight of her embarrassment hanging in the air. He exhaled softly, a sound that was almost a laugh. "We're just talking." There are moments when individuals speak, unaware of the weight their words carry. It resonates in the air, a melody that dances around, weaving through the silence and filling the space with its presence. Each note carries a story, echoing the emotions of those who listen, inviting them to join in the symphony of life. It is a language of its own, speaking to the heart and stirring the soul, creating a tapestry of sound that lingers long after it fades away. There was a time when I found myself on the receiving end of that experience. Sabrina gently swirled the steaming coffee she had just ordered, watching the rich brown liquid dance in her cup. As the spoon danced gently against the cup, a soft melody filled the air. "You are engaged in a game," was something beyond good. It was as if it had been a weight on your shoulders for a lifetime. "I possess." Khalil spoke, his voice carrying a weight of thoughtfulness. "It all began when I was just a young child of 10. It was at a church sale that my mom stumbled upon the old piano, its worn keys whispering stories of the past. Though she chose not to partake, she sensed that perhaps I would take the chance to play. It seemed she had been right all along. What shall we say about the lessons learned along the way? They were just out of reach, a distant dream that lingered in the back of the mind. In the journey of discovery, I found wisdom in the whispers of others, mimicking their steps, stumbling along the way and rising once more to embrace the challenge. On quiet Saturday mornings, I would find my way into the community center, slipping in unnoticed. In a modest abode, they maintained a respectable posture, standing tall and proud. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the empty hallways, I found myself lost in a world of play. Hours slipped by, each moment filled with laughter and adventure, till the unmistakable sound of the janitor's footsteps echoed through the building. With a gentle but firm reminder, he would usher me out, bringing my escapades to an end for the day. Sabrina's lips curled into a subtle smile, a delicate expression that hinted at a deeper emotion within her. "And so it came to be that you found yourself in the role of the janitor." Khalil's smile spread across his face, a spark of joy lighting up his eyes. "It's amusing, isn't it, how things unfold in unexpected ways?" As she stood there, a gentle warmth spread across her face, revealing a tenderness that had been hidden beneath the surface. What if one were to chase it as a career? Khalil reclined in his chair, his fingers wrapping around the warm ceramic of his coffee mug. As the days unfolded, life took its course, weaving moments of joy and sorrow into the fabric of existence. At the age of 17, a shadow fell over my life as my mother fell ill. As the days passed, the bills began to accumulate, forming a daunting mountain of paper that loomed over the table. In the world of melodies and rhythms, the path to prosperity often seems elusive. Many wanderers chase their dreams, pouring their hearts into every note, yet the rewards remain scant. It appears that fortune favors only a select few, those who stumble upon serendipity, or forge connections with the influential. I embarked on various jobs that they ensured that the glow of the lights remained steady and bright. The piano lingered in the scene, a constant presence, yet it has always belonged to me. In a secluded corner of the world, where whispers danced, on the breeze and secrets lay hidden beneath the surface, there existed a realm untouched by the prying eyes of the outside. Here the air was thick with mystery, and every shadow held a story waiting to be uncovered. It was a place where the ordinary faded away, and the extraordinary thrived in silence, cradled by the embrace of solitude. Sabrina nodded slowly, her thoughts swirling like leaves caught in a gentle breeze as she contemplated his words. Once upon a time, performance held a special significance for the people. It was more than just an act. It resonated deeply within their hearts and souls. Messages from strangers have found their way to me, each one echoing with memories of their fathers, their childhoods, and the dreams they once held close, but have since released into the ether. As he gazed through the window, his eyes wandered over the bustling street below. While the sentiment is appreciated, there's a desire to keep this from becoming a spectacle for public attention. In the depths of my heart, I know that I am not seeking a hero to come to my rescue. There was a moment when I paused, contemplating the words that lingered in the air. The thought of extending an offer danced on the tip of my tongue, but I hesitated, feeling the weight of my decision. It was clear that this was not the time for such gestures. "I will save you," she declared. In a moment of contemplation, I found myself pondering a question that lingered in the air. Would you accept a stage, one that truly reflects your worth and brilliance? Halil's eyes found hers once more. "And if I don't, then nothing changes," she remarked, a casual shrug accompanying her words. In this moment, you find yourself in a unique space, a rare opportunity that many only dream of. You can immerse yourself in the game, choosing the time and place that suits you best, embracing the freedom that comes with it. Should you choose to accept, I can place you before crowds eager to hear your voice. He paused, the silence stretching between them like a taut string, waiting for the right moment to respond. His thoughts wandered to his mother, to the weathered piano that stood in their living room, to the gentle hum that would escape her lips as she played as the sun began to set. Casting a warm glow across the room, a pile of freshly washed clothes awaited attention. Each piece, soft and fragrant, held the promise of comfort. With gentle hands, the task began, transforming the chaos of wrinkled fabric into neat, organized stacks. The rhythmic motion of folding became a soothing ritual, a moment of tranquility amidst the day's hustle. One by one, the garments found their place, each fold a small victory, each completed stack a testament to the simple joys of home. The air was filled with a sense of accomplishment as the last shirt was neatly placed, and the once daunting chore became a cherished part of the evening routine. She would say to him, "You weave tales without uttering a single word."
Out deep down,
she longed for him to unveil those hidden narratives. Yet uncertainty lingered in his mind, leaving him to ponder whether that truly signified opening himself to the world around him. Sabrina appeared to sense the uncertainty that lingered in the air around him. "I won't pressure you, but consider this. Your music has already resonated in a space where no one was paying attention. Just picture the impact it could have on those who truly are." Khalil placed his cup on the table, his gaze steady. "I'll think about it," she said, her voice trailing off as they continued their conversation, the air thick with unspoken thoughts and possibilities. Once upon a time, there was a remarkable woman whose life was intertwined with her foundation, a beacon of hope for many. She dedicated herself to uplifting others, pouring her heart into every project. Meanwhile, a man worked diligently at a hotel, his days filled with routine yet tinged with dreams of something greater. Life, in its unpredictable manner, often cast unexpected light upon them, illuminating paths they had never sought. In the midst of their journeys, they found themselves in a moment that neither had anticipated, where their stories converged in a way that would forever change their lives. As the moment to depart drew near, Sabrina extended her hand, a gesture filled with unspoken words. "No matter the path you choose, you have my admiration. Such a decision is not made without careful consideration." Khalil extended his hand and she took it, their palms meeting in a brief moment of connection. As I pondered the words spoken, a sense of determination washed over me. I would hold on to that thought, letting it guide my actions in the days to come. Yet, unbeknownst to them, the choice he was grappling with would soon be taken out of his hands, arriving quicker than he could have ever anticipated. He believed that the world still had more to say, still had more to offer, as it continued to knock persistently at his door. 3 days had passed, and Khalil found himself once again at the Crystal Bay Hotel, as he maneuvered his cleaning cart through the long banquet hallway. The hurried footsteps of the front desk clerk echoed behind him, drawing his attention. "A visitor has arrived," she announced, her breath coming in quick bursts. "I'm working," Khalil replied, his voice steady, yet she shook her head, silent refusal hanging in the air between them. As he entered the lobby, a voice rang out, firm and unwavering. "This one's not leaving until you talk to her." His gaze fell upon a woman in her late 30s, her attire a testament to time, with a faded charm that hinted at stories untold, with a denim jacket draped over her shoulders and a toddler nestled on her hip. She turned to face him, her expression a blend of warmth and determination. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "You don't know me," she started, her voice steady yet laced with an unspoken weight. "I watched your video not once but twice," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "My son, he's still finding his words, but when I played your piano piece, he was captivated. He sat there, completely still, absorbing every note. It's a rare moment for him." Khalil turned his gaze to the boy, who was now looking at him with wide, curious eyes. It was heartening to receive such words. The woman's voice quivered, a delicate thread woven with uncertainty. "It transcends mere niceness. Last year, a profound loss enveloped my life as my husband departed from this world, leaving behind a silence that echoed through our days as the sun dipped below the horizon. Casting a warm glow across the landscape, she found herself in a moment of reflection. The world around her was shifting, and with each passing second, she felt the need to adapt. The gentle breeze whispered secrets of change, urging her to embrace the newness that lay ahead. With a deep breath, she began to find her footing, ready to navigate the uncharted paths that awaited her. As the notes floated through the air, a sense of tranquility enveloped my home for the first time in months. In a moment of reflection, a heartfelt expression emerged, a simple yet profound acknowledgement of gratitude. "Thank you," it whispered, resonating with sincerity and warmth. "Though your actions were not for our sake, they held significance beyond measure." He lingered in silence, uncertainty hanging in the air as he searched for the right words to break the stillness. At last he spoke softly. "I'm glad it found you when you needed it." Once she had departed, Khalil turned his cart back toward the service hallway, yet he could feel a change in the air. Until that moment, the viral video seemed like an event unfolding in his life, something that was happening to him rather than something he was part of. In that moment, it seemed as though he had finally found his voice, a chance to influence the unfolding events around him. Inside, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the world, he picked up the phone and dialed Sabrina's number. With a glimmer of hope in his eyes, he declared, "I'll take the stage, if the offer remained." 2 weeks later, the anticipation hung thick in the air as they found themselves side by side, waiting in the shadows of the Uptown Theater in Dallas. In a moment that shimmered with anticipation, Sabrina orchestrated a grand opportunity for him, inviting him to take the stage as the star attraction at her foundation's prestigious national benefit concert. In a bustling hall, a diverse crowd gathered, a blend of generous donors, local families, and a handful of reporters, all buzzing with anticipation. They were there to witness a moment that promised to be extraordinary, curious to see if the piano janitor could indeed rise to the occasion and fulfill the expectations that surrounded him. Khalil moved gracefully, the warmth of his palms radiating as he walked. "It has a different vibe than the gala," he remarked, uttered. "Time, they came for you," Sabrina said, her voice steady yet laced with an unspoken weight. As his name echoed through the air, he emerged into the glow of the spotlight, met by a wave of applause that enveloped him. Far more heartfelt than the mere polite clapping he had encountered at the hotel. As he settled onto the polished Steinway, the spotlight illuminating his figure, he inhaled deeply, and with that breath, the music began to flow from his fingertips. He began with a piece that was uniquely his, a harmonious fusion of gospel's comforting embrace and the meticulous elegance of classical music. The melodies rose and fell, reminiscent of the rhythmic ebb and flow of ocean tides. As the lights dimmed, an expectant hush fell over the audience, a silence thick with anticipation, as the last note lingered in the air. A wave of applause erupted, vibrant and unrestrained. In the moments between the music, he turned to the audience, sharing a few words that lingered in the air like a gentle breeze. In the fleeting moments of first impressions, most individuals will come to know you solely through the surface, capturing only glimpses of who you truly are within the span of a few seconds. But that's just a part of the tale, never truly is. Within each of us lies a vast and profound essence waiting to be discovered. In the quiet corners of life, there are moments that beckon, urging you to release what has been held inside. It's as if the universe conspires to create the perfect opportunity, a gentle nudge that says, now is the time. For almost 40 minutes, he poured his heart into the music, culminating in the very same piece that had enchanted the audience at the gala. The applause erupted with a fervor that filled the air, a standing ovation that seemed to echo through the very walls. In the shadows, Sabrina was applauding, with a smile that radiated warmth and authenticity. She lit up the room. As the evening unfolded and the guests filled the lobby with laughter and conversation, a few individuals made their way toward him, eager to engage. It was not merely about praising the melodies that filled the air. It was a journey into their own pasts. They spoke of instruments gathering dust in forgotten attics, dreams that had been shelved for the sake of practicality and the once bright talents that had faded into doubt, now yearning to be rediscovered. As the night drew to a close, Khalil came to understand that the music had transformed into something greater than just his personal sanctuary. In that moment, he found himself standing on a bridge, a connection to those he had yet to encounter, each step drawing him closer to the unknown. As the evening air buzzed with anticipation, Sabrina hurriedly made her way outside the theater, her heart racing as she finally reached him. Imagine a moment where possibilities unfold before you, where the potential for something extraordinary lies just within reach. The thought lingers in the air, inviting exploration and creativity. What if this could transform into something remarkable? There lay a path before you, one that beckoned with the promise of a fulfilling journey, should you choose to embark upon it. Perhaps Khalil murmured, his voice trailing off as he pondered the possibilities. Yet, regardless of the outcome, a lesson has been etched into my understanding. What could that be? The weight of what you carry holds significance, though the eyes of the world may overlook it at first, and laughter may echo in the air. A deeper truth lies beneath the surface. He halted in his tracks, casting a glance over his shoulder at the theater doors, where the final guests were trickling out into the night. In the quiet moments of life, when you least expect it, the right opportunity may present itself. Essential to be prepared, for these fleeting chances often arrive unannounced. Sabrina gave a slight nod, her thoughts swirling like leaves caught in a gentle breeze. And so, the path ahead lay in your hands. Khalil's lips curled into a smile. It has always been that way. The cool night air enveloped him as he made his way to the car that was patiently waiting to whisk him back to the comfort of his hotel. Uncertainty hung in the air as he pondered whether this moment marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey or merely a tale he would recount in the distant future. Yet deep within him, there was a certainty that he could not shake off. At last, his music emerged from the shadows, no longer concealed from the world. In a world where passions often linger in the shadows, there lies a gentle reminder. If you possess something dear to your heart, be it a melody that stirs your soul, words that dance upon the page, or colors that bring life to a canvas, do not hesitate. The perfect moment may never arrive, so embrace the beauty of your creation now. Pass it along. Allow it to be revealed. One can never truly anticipate the ripple effect of their actions, for it may alter the course of another's life, perhaps even your own.